my students, I'll ask them how much money they expect to be making by the time they're 35. And about 90% of them expect to be in the top 1%, which is $750,000 a year in America. And then they'll talk about that, like that's what I expect. But I'll say, what's most important to you in your life and moving forward? And a lot of the time they say balance. And I'm like, so you expect to be in the top 1% by the time you're 35, but you also believe you're going to have balance in your life? I mean,
Just the way he said it, uh, the way he said it expresses how I feel at that about that statement. It's just ridiculous how people nowadays think that you are gonna make it to the top 1% in making money, but also you're gonna have life and work balance. That's just a ridiculous statement, which most people don't understand. They don't understand that's actually, if not impossible, the possibility of having or making that work is slim to none.
I've never seen that. You can
Me
have it all.
neither.
You just can't have it all at once. And by the way, that may not be the way to go. You may sacrifice. You may say, I want to live a nice kind of balanced life. I'm going to move to a suburb of St. Louis, coach Little League, work 40 hours a week, be a good citizen, find a good partner. Nothing wrong with that. But the majority of the people I know, the young people, think they're going to be in the top 1% and also have balance in their life. And I just think it's ridiculous. And I'm like, okay, the only way to get there, to achieve that, is if you have one thing, and that's rich parents. Otherwise,
Okay,
expect to go
that's
all
one
in on
way.
your career or scale back your expectations around your economics and your influence because it's a competitive market. And one of the things people can control is how hard they work. I don't think you want to work so much that you sacrifice your health or your relationships. There is going to be some trade off with your relationships. I didn't see my kids a lot when they were little. I was divorced. I think it was a contributor to that. I was always working in services companies and never saying no to any opportunity. The CMO of Samsung, can you be in Seoul tomorrow for a board meeting? Sure. To everything to try and move the company forward. But I, for a long period, worked very, very hard and sacrificed a lot. And it takes a toll. And I did it such that I could have a lot more balance now.
I agree with that. I agree with that part also. Like, I just, I don't think this generation knows what it means to make it into the top 1%, or they just don't know what it takes. They just don't know what the top percent is or means when it comes to financial gain. Because there will be a lot of sacrifices you will have to make. Work balance, work-life balance does not exist when it comes to making it into the top 1%. I'm still trying to make it into the top 1%. I am very far. But even when I started my entrepreneurship journey, I was working 90, 100 hours a week. I missed a lot of birthdays. I missed a lot of weddings. I missed a lot of get togethers. I missed a lot of vacation travels. I missed time with family. Luckily, I didn't have a child at the time, but I sacrificed a lot. And so I could have now time for my family. Now I have a child and I can be with him all the time as I made it into somewhat financial independent. So, yes, I know I relate to what he just said because I have been through that. And still at this point, I will still take an opportunity at any point that I believe is going to push me closer to that 1% because my partner, my girl, she understands that I am gonna take any opportunity I see fit because that's what's best for us, for the family, and for my growth also. So yes, I agree with Scott 100%.
But this notion, the myth of balance, get over it. If you expect to be influential or economically secure, you're not going to have a lot of balance for a long period of time. Some people are such geniuses that they can work a modest amount of time, make a lot of money, work out, have a great relationship with their parents, be fit, donate time at the ASPCA, and have a food blog. Assume you are not that person. So
True.
just have a sober conversation, and also have a sober conversation with your partner. How much money do we expect to have? Who's responsible for making it? What's your approach to spending? Where are we going to live? The number one source of divorce is not infidelity or lack of shared values. It's usually got something to do with money. And also 70% of divorce filings are filed by women who still, and we don't like to say this because we like to pretend women have no agency and that they're just doughy little foes, is the man loses a business, becomes broke, or has a mental breakdown. When a
There is one factor that influences in those in the divorce rate when uh, when the primary uh, cause is money is usually, well, you there are two types of people in a relationship. There's a spender and there's a protector. Spender just want to spend and keep up with the Joneses, have a great lifestyle. Protector is gonna protect finances, invest, try to grow their finances so they can have a comfortable retirement and a comfortable future. But mainly what happens is in those divorces, we always have there always are one protector and then one spender. You're gonna see very well, not few, a low divorce rate when a couple has two protectors. Divorce rate when the reason is money. When there are two protectors in a relationship, the divorce rate due to money is very low because they both working towards one common goal. On the other hand, when one is a protector and then the other one is a spender, the spender is spending money and the protector is always trying to catch up, pay bills, but they're always behind. So they're always trying to catch up, but always behind. Vicious cycle.
man loses his status as a provider, he's very inclined to be on the wrong end of divorce. So I
True.
think a lot about young men. I think a lot about financial security. I think every man should start with the notion that he's going to be responsible for the economic well-being of his household. And by the way, sometimes that means getting out of the way and being more supportive of your partner who happens to be better at that money thing than you. And that's a wonderful thing. But start from a position of this is my responsibility. And make sure you're aligned with your partner around this stuff. Because the thing we don't talk about is that your kids are going to have higher blood pressure if you're economically strained. Kids in low-income households have greater systolic resting blood pressure than kids in middle and upper income homes. You're much more likely to get divorced. You're much more likely to have a stroke. You're much more likely to be the victim or the perpetrator of domestic violence when you don't have money. America becomes more like itself every day. And that is, it's a loving, generous place for people with money. It's a rapacious, violent place for people who don't have money.
Yeah, think about it. People who are in the lower income bracket, they live in not so great areas, and the nutrition options are not that good or they're not that good, so they have to travel out. But even when they travel out, uh, their income they might not be able to afford it. So you can see his point on, your kids are gonna have probably high blood pressure and all those issues because of the money factor. Yeah.
So all this bullshit that money doesn't buy you happiness, oh my God, is that a myth? I'm not saying
Yes, that is a myth. Whoever really believes that has, uh, I'm not gonna say has never had money because a lot of people have never had money, has never experienced, um, I don't even know how to put it. When you go, when you go on vacation Let's say some people go on vacation and they rent a pretty expensive car, and then they arrive to the restaurant and the valet is all over him, and then the waiters and all that. Just picture that every day of your life, and then picture you can solve all your problems at any point, no matter how expensive it is. It does, like he said. I do believe you can get happiness or very close to happiness with money.
And you need to be incredibly wealthy. But middle income people are happier than poor people, and wealthy people are happier than middle income people. That's the bad news. The good news is that it tops out. You get diminishing returns. And you have to be cognizant of when you do get to some level of economic security, that's the means. The ends is such that you can have an exhale, release the anxiety that you feel, and then use the opportunity to really spend a lot of time with your loved ones and cement those relationships. And the problem is you get on this hedonic treadmill and you become so absorbed in your own success and your professional identity and money and making more money that you never get to the ends. You wake up a wealthy person or someone who's financially secure, has always thought about their economic well-being, and you don't really have a great relationship with your kids.
True, because the real happiness with money is how you can use money to have the freedom to do whatever it is that you want to do on your time. So that is how you can get buy happiness with money, because you have the money to have the freedom to do what you want. Like, I want to go over here today. I want to take my child over there. I just want to stay home today. I don't have to do anything, or I just want to go work out, or let's take a trip. So money is the vehicle that's gonna take you to whatever you want to do. That's gonna make you happy. Gives you the freedom that you need or that you want.
Or you never really leaned into your partnership and thought, okay, let's take time to really enjoy each other's company. Let's do nice things. Your
True.
parents die before you have a chance to really spend time with them as adults. I think that happens to a lot of people. They just get so caught up in, I need the next promotion. I need the next amount of money. And once I get here, I have someone very close to my life. It's a family member.
Yes, I am a big believer that you should do the things that you always wanted to do, at least one in your lifetime, at least one in your life. Like, if you want to do something bad enough, I'm not talking about, oh, I want to take a trip because, no, no. If there's something that you want to write off your bucket list, something you really want to do, like a goal, then you should do it.
Just think so many people don't realize how fast it's going to go by and never really like not only super lean into the relationships, but just allow themselves just to have a great time. I'm going to Stagecoach this week, and I'm going to have arrested adolescence with my friends, and I'm going to look ridiculous. And it's like, yeah, why not? Why the fuck not? What am I going to do? Watch C-SPAN all weekend? I mean,
Exactly.
anyway, I can't stand it when people who are blessed with being in this country have some level of economic security, have people in their life that love them and they don't like crazy lean into it, because you guys are younger than I can. It just goes so goddamn fast. It's just
Yes. I think people don't understand, especially people, especially Gen Zers and Boomers. They don't understand how lucky we are to live in this country. And I wasn't born in this country, but I was fortunate enough that I was able to come into this country and become a citizen. They just they don't understand how lucky they are to live in the greatest country in the world. How affluent this country is, how rich it is. Like, even poor people, the money they make, Like whatever a poor person makes a week, that will be a monthly salary where I'm from. They don't they don't understand what real poverty is. They don't understand there are other countries in the world where slavery is still going on. They don't understand how lucky they are to be in the position that they are living in this country, or the resources that we have available. Do you know there's a country in Asia? I don't remember which country it is. Documentary is, I saw it on YouTube probably like 6, 7 months ago, where children are born into their parents' debt. So they are born slaves because their parents work at it's like a coal mine, and they get paid so low that they have to borrow from their bosses who owns the company, that anything that they make, the owner of the company just keeps. So they have to keep working to pay it off, but then they also have to keep borrowing money to survive. And then their children are born into that cycle. They have 3, 4, 5 generations born into that cycle where they haven't been able to ever pay off whatever they owe because they get paid so little. They pay $2, $3, maybe $5 a month for a family of 5. And then here, people are complaining, oh, I just want work-life balance, but I also want to make it into 1%, and I want to travel every day, and I want to shop every day, and I want the latest car. I want a luxury car. Like, come on, man. You need to be real. Stop being so fucking entitled. Stop believing what you see on social media. Millionaires don't party every day. They don't party every day. No, that is not a fact of life. They don't go shopping every day. No, that's not true. You guys keep buying all this social media bullshit and then complaining and crying because you can keep up with that. Of course you can, because that's not fucking real. Whoever you see doing that on Instagram or TikTok every day, they're either influencers, so they get paid to go to those places. They are still working because making content is a very hard job, or they are scamming people. It's one or the other. And you see how the second one goes, right? So stop complaining and stop believing what you see in social media. Work-life balance does not exist. Let me know in the comments if you guys agree with me, if you guys disagree with me. Like and share the video. Subscribe to the channel to support me, and have a blessed and exclusive day. Peace.